Wow!
Yep, it's here. Merchandising is here, and it's here to stay. Okay. Okay. Will do.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
I couldn't think of a Mario joke. Nintendo trying to say Princess Peach is not my lover. Anyway. My days.
Netflix and KU together for £24 a month.
My days.
Believe it better.
All in 3D. Here we go. Man, it is pouring with rain outside. I'm so glad I made it to see this movie and get back while I could. What am I saying? The plants need the rain anyway, am I right? Let's talk about the new Super Mario Galaxy movie, shall we? 3 years ago, you'll recall that I made a review video for the first Super Mario Bros. Movie. No, I am not talking about the unfortunate Bob Hoskins movie, although I did make a reaction video to that, if you're curious to see. The first Super Mario Bros. Movie made by Illumination, was quite the surprise hit, and was a loving, nostalgic homage to the games, albeit with plenty of flaws. There were a lot of pop songs that were needlessly littered throughout the entire movie, whereas it could have benefited from just having Brian Tyler's brilliant music just swell over the entire thing. And people have complained about a few other things, such as Luigi not getting a very prominent role in a movie called the Super Mario Brothers movie. Not to mention, people were complaining about the usual girl bossy tropes that were occurring in the movie, but thankfully not as in your face as other movies were. The Super Mario Galaxy movie has so much empowerment for Princess Peach. The movie ought to be called the Super Peach Galaxy movie. But hey, that name probably wouldn't go well with the brand recognition now, would it?
We've got to have money.
Universal Studios. Cha-ching.
What I mean by the less girl bossiness in this movie is the fact that Mario and Luigi have more usefulness in the specific narrative this time, but my days. Peach is so OP. Like, why isn't the movie about her? The movie is named after Mario for brand recognition, and yet the narrative is focused on Peach. Yeah, it's pretty sad that this movie overall represents the Americanization, as in the modern Americanization of stories, the constant go, 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 non-stop pacing, the excessive girl bossiness at the expense of genuine character arcs. Yeah, I completely understand why people don't like this movie. Honestly, your perception on this movie is very much dependent on your perspective, to be honest. If you're a big Nintendo fan and you just want a fun film that goes back to simpler times, then you can have your fun with this, and I won't hold it against you. After all, I enjoyed the film, being a Nintendo fan that I am. At the same time, if you're expecting something more deep and nuanced that's akin to The Puss in Boots: The Last Wish or something, prepare to be disappointed. If anything, I didn't really mind it personally. Having now seen the Super Mario Galaxy movie, I can safely say it is an improvement in the fact that there's no needless pop songs being crammed down your throat every so often. Thankfully, Brian Tyler's music dominates the entire movie in the best way possible. If anything, it didn't distract too much, so it's passable. Something else I should note about this movie is that a lot of the major highlights have already been given away by the marketing. Seriously, Illumination, stop giving away your major highlights in your marketing. You've been doing it since the first Despicable Me movie, and it makes for a bit of a disappointment when you've built up so much. Stop doing that! I say this because there's a very awesome appearance from a certain character who's long overdue with some much love and appreciation. They should have reserved the marketing for that character until after the movie premiered, after today, as of recording this, in the 1st of April. Talk about an April Fool's prank, I guess. Alright, anyway,
with all the major complaints out of the way, let's talk about the movie properly. Should I do the dramatic description of the movie? I might as well. The cosmic princess Rosalina has been kidnapped by the nefarious Bowser Jr., hell-bent on getting his father back into business. Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and some companions respond to the threat, and they soar through the galaxy to save it. Will they save a Super Mario Galaxy? So corny. Now, one of the biggest problems with this movie, as much as it is an improvement in regards to the fact that there's no obnoxious pop songs, one major problem with this movie, which doesn't necessarily ruin the movie, it's just a very noticeable problem in the way that the film is paced, it's that this movie tries to do so much at once. Honestly, for the sake of building a franchise, Illumination in collaboration with Nintendo should have made a Super Mario World movie first. That way they could have properly introduced Yoshi and have Mario and Luigi get settled and accommodated into their new home. We could have seen the segue as to how they get settled in, their careers as plumbers, maybe a bit of slice of life here and there, get some nice world building as they go on another adventure to stop Bowser. And then we could have a third installment where we have the Super Mario Galaxy movie. That's what I would have done if I had any creative control input into Illumination Studios, but alas, this is what we got. And because Illumination didn't make the Super Mario World sequel and then the Super Mario Galaxy sequel, it leads to an absolute rush where they're doing so many things at once. They're introducing Yoshi, they are having all these characters in separate directions do these various things. They're setting this up for the cosmic scope. Oh, by the way, there's this character. And by the way, all this is happening all at once. Oh, by the way, Toad is implied to be jealous of Yoshi, but we're not going to delve fully into that. It's just for one or two scenes for the sake of the marketing. But other than that, there's not really much thorough development beyond that. It's that kind of rushed pacing which leads to a lot of lost opportunity to not only proper characterization, but to the rich world building, the rich atmosphere that was just dripping with so much charm and wonder from the original games. People still have fond memories of these games, and there was so much rich atmosphere from these games, especially the first Super Mario Galaxy game, where as much as you are going from planet to planet and going all these different adventures, there's this ambience, there's this flow in regards to how this galaxy is being unfolded as you're experiencing the game. There's some brilliant tracks which makes for some soothing slow pacing like Cosmic Cove and Super Mario Galaxy 2 and other tunes of a similar caliber throughout these games. There are video essays out there on YouTube which analyze the atmosphere of the first Super Mario Galaxy game, and people have compared the atmosphere of Super Mario Galaxy to The Little Prince. It's kind of a charming, whimsy wonder that fills you with a sense of awe about all of creation. And you do get glimpses of that in the movie, but sadly, it seems a bit lost in translation with all these other rushed aspects in this movie. So yeah, there was some lost opportunity for that kind of thing. But thankfully, for all the things that this movie gets wrong, there are so many other things that this movie gets absolutely right. Not just the sheer imaginative creativity that comes by default with the source material, but also with a few other surprises. Like, for example, Bowser gets some surprisingly nuanced characterization in this movie, which I actually really appreciate. We get to see him interact with the Mario Brothers in a rather surprising heart-to-heart manner for the standards of a villain who was trying to kill them in the previous movie. We get to see Bowser have an attempt at a heart-to-heart reconciliation with his own son, and we get to see Bowser be surprisingly conflicted throughout this movie, to the point where, spoiler alerts, by the time Mario has to face off against Bowser again, it comes across as more tragic. Which, yeah, it's surprisingly engaging in that regard. They could have easily have just gone for the route of, oh, Bowser Jr.'s come to take Bowser, and then Bowser grows big again, and Bowser's gonna lead his army to dominate the galaxy. But instead, they went for a direction where they offered some more nuanced character building for Bowser. Kind of like what you would see in the Mario and Luigi RPG game series, I would imagine. And yeah, it makes for a much more dynamic villain interaction, if you ask me. I also appreciate how all the characters get their moment to shine. I've already mentioned Bowser's surprising nuanced characterization, but there's also moments for other characters to shine, like Luigi having more of a prominent usefulness throughout the movie this time. Rosalina gets some great moments in regards to the fact that she's willing to take care of her children and protect them from major threats, and even make major sacrifices if and where need be without giving too much away.
And yes, Brie Larson does not do anything cringy here. She's cool here.
And whilst Peach still gets some of the same bit of girl bossiness from the first movie, there were some other great character moments for Peach, like when she was giving a cup of tea to a very tired Luma. That is just so adorable, and this movie is filled to the brim with so many adorable moments, like the aforementioned moment of Peach giving Luma a cup of tea, Mario and Luigi just being Italian in the way that they saved that one toad, and Yoshi. Yoshi. Need I say more? It's Yoshi. Probably the cutest dinosaur in entertainment history, or one of the cutest dinosaurs in entertainment history. Common critique in the first movie is that, very similar to The Force Awakens, a female character gets kidnapped only for the character to rescue themselves, rendering a rescue party effort to be almost entirely useless. I mean, of course, Mario still had to save his brother from being burned alive, and Donkey Kong had to help to stop Bowser and whatnot, but yeah, that's a common complaint I've heard. But here, Mario actually does support Peach in various ways throughout the movie, most notably gifting her with her signature parasol umbrella that she uses and very much comes in handy throughout the movie. Men and women get their awesome bits. Other major highlights in this movie include the amazing animation. The animation is absolutely stunning, with details like the flow of Rosalina's dress, the hair effects of Rosalina's hair and Peach's hair and Mario's mustache and hair and so on and so forth. Skin textures of certain characters like Kamek and Mort the Frog and whatnot, and the sheer attention to detail throughout these different environments. Combine that with the sense of scale and scope, with stuff like the stardust that you'll see and the scope of the environments and things like that. It's all amazing to see, especially in 3D. Yes, I saw this movie in 3D, and perhaps seeing it in 3D will make people reminisce about their days on playing the Nintendo 3DS. But you know what else is cool? An appearance from a certain other character that is much beloved by Nintendo Legacy. Star Fox! Yes, you heard me correctly. Star Fox himself makes an appearance in this movie. I still think Illumination should have preserved that surprise until after the film premiered on the 1st of April, but man, Star Fox is so awesome in this movie. And man, that character, that franchise is long overdue for love and appreciation. It was such a brilliant idea to cast Glenn Powell of Top Gun Maverick fame to portray Star Fox. Inspired casting. There's this whole anime-esque sequence where Star Fox is describing his backstory about his team, his crew, and the things they do in space, and how he ended up in the Mario Galaxy verse, as it were. People of the filmmaking industry, can we have more of that, please? Okay, I'm just geeking out here. Can you imagine an entire anime-style film where it's basically a Star Fox movie in the style of Top Gun Maverick? How awesome would that be? Anyway, going back to the Super Mario Galaxy movie, Star Fox's character doesn't feel compromised, it doesn't feel butchered or character assassinated in any way. It feels very true to the source material, and he's allowed to be cool. I mean, honestly, if you didn't know any better, you'd see the part where Peach and Toad are looking for a pilot, and you think, oh, this is the part where they're gonna reference the Starship Mario from Super Mario Galaxy 2. But then you get a little hint of a Nintendo multiverse with the Pikmin cameo appearance, and then you see the R-Wing, you see Fox, and if you didn't know any better, I'd imagine you'd be going, No way! It's fat! You know, something like that.
Do a barrel roll.
So overall, I really did enjoy this movie, and it's a guaranteed fun time, just like the first movie, and in my opinion at least, it's a major improvement over the first movie in various aspects. Despite this movie's pacing issues, there's a lot of awesome and surprisingly sweet moments to look forward to when you're going in to see this movie. Now, for this last moment in the video, there is something that I want to discuss, but in order to discuss it, I'm going to have to delve into major spoiler territory in regards to this movie. So if you don't want to be absolutely spoiled as to what happens, then click away now. But for those of you who are staying and have seen the movie probably, I'd like to have a little discussion. The reveal that Peach and Rosalina are sisters, and they have this very interesting cosmic power to, well, create, a la kind of Genesis style, seems like an interesting decision, because in Super Mario Bros. Lore, there's never been any official confirmation as to what the relation between Peach and Rosalina are. In fact, for the longest of times, fans either assumed that they weren't related at all, or another speculative fan theory, and keep in mind, the Illumination movie adaptations are just that, they're separate adaptations from the source material of the games, but regardless, fans have nevertheless made a long speculation based on the storybook segments of the first Super Mario Galaxy movie. Fans have speculated that Princess Peach is Rosalina's mother, and through some tragic means, Rosalina lost her and ended up raising a family of Lumas by herself. And then, due to interstellar-style time warps of, you know, people living afar from the planet of civilization, the person ends up, you know, growing apart in various different time loopy, spacey ways due to time working differently in certain regions of space, which is why Rosalina appears the way she is. So fans have speculated. So I wonder how that discussion will be altered now that the Illumination movies depict Peach and Rosalina to be sisters. Now, obviously, fans will nevertheless keep speculating what I just mentioned, because at the end of the day, those Illumination movie adaptations are just that, they're adaptations. They're not really meant to be canon in the strictest sense in regards to the games, if you ask me. But nevertheless, an interesting speculation about how they're sisters and how they both have the capacity to create. That very much delves into this archetypal feminine symbolism of the feminine power to create, to birth new life. I mean, if they were willing to go further, they probably would have delved further into the theme of nurturing new life. Maybe they'll delve into that in the sequel, not likely. These movies were never really gonna be that deep. It's made by Illumination Studios. And throughout various instances in the movie, both at the present moment and in the revealed past, there have been nefarious forces who have been trying to use the cosmic power of Peach and Rosalina for means to destroy. They both save the day by uniting in order to create, as it were. And they're both still entitled as princesses, which makes you think, like, who's the king and the queen? Could it be like this, maybe this sort of godlike couple, perhaps? Obviously, I don't think this movie franchise is gonna go any deeper on a symbolic basis in the philosophical sense, but it's interesting that it's touched upon, right? Oh, who am I kidding? It's just a superpower just for the sake of the plot to progress, right? At the end of the day, people will bash me about this because you're not supposed to think that deeply about Super Mario Brothers. It's very much as bare bones as a plot can get. Well, the thing is, the first Super Mario Galaxy game went surprisingly deep with its story in regards to Rosalina's tragic story and how she overcame her tragedy to take care of the Lumas. Don't you think that same kind of depth could apply to movie speculation? Just saying. Anyway, with all that said, there's plenty to love here. You'll find plenty of references to Super Mario World, Super Mario Bros. Wii, classic Super Mario Bros. Games. There's even a cameo from Donkey Kong at one point. Various references to the Super Mario Galaxy games, several mentions to Super Mario Bros. Wonder, a very self-evidential implication of Super Smash Brothers, am I right? Yeah, don't go in expecting anything too deep. Expect to go in having a fun time. If you had fun with the first film, I guarantee you're more likely than not going to have a fun time here. So with that said, I just took the time to look back at my own review for the first Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I rated that movie an 8.9 out of 12. In hindsight, now that the hype for that first movie has died down, I think I would honestly give that movie, I'd be more willing to give that movie a 7 out of 12 as opposed to an 8.9 out of 12. In hindsight, yeah, there were some flaws in regards to the frequent use of pop songs that really got in the way of Brian Tyler's excellent music composition, as well as some other character-related flaws in regards to the first movie. I would rate the Super Mario Galaxy movie an 8 out of 12. Yes, there were multiple flaws throughout the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and there was a lot of missed potential for characterization world building. So much missed potential, in fact, it would have been wiser to make a Super Mario World sequel first and then a Super Mario Galaxy movie so that we can have proper characterization and world building for this franchise. But other than that, there was some surprising thought put into characterization, there were a lot of awesome moments, and if anything else, the sheer amount of imaginative creativity will at least keep your attention for an hour and a half. What did you think of the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Let me know down in the comments down below. And let me know what you think would make for awesome movie potential in regards to Star Fox or Donkey Kong or Luigi's Mansion or whatnot. I look forward to further discussion in the comments down below. And in the meantime, Scott Stinker, signing out. Although I did make a reaction video to that if you're
Wait! One more thing.
Even Illumination is catching on to the fact that Mario and Peach have a relationship that goes beyond platonic. Come on, Nintendo. I don't think you can get away with having them be friend-zoned forever.